Ooh. What up, Edwin? How you doing today, bro? Let's see, resume.
Recording in progress.
All right, I'm gonna record this Zoom meeting. Some people that I know couldn't make it. Let's see, someone's already calling me. As soon as I get on the Zoom, someone starts calling. So I want to go over a few things today. There's a lot of our members that couldn't make it. Everybody's working, still in the field right now. So I completely understand, if you're out there grinding, cleaning, you're not able to make it. Basically what we're talking about today, what a lot of people need to know about when it comes to the businesses, it really comes down to your attitude. When you're going into these meetings and you're dealing with customers, like the only thing they're buying from you is you. There's nothing else that they're looking to, buy. They don't care about your services. Our customers don't care about our products. They don't care about anything. I walked into a body shop today, or it was yesterday, and the guy was like, I walk in there and he's just staring at me, and I'm waiting for him to say, hey, how can I help you? And I walk into the body shop, and this mechanic is just super rude. And his response was, whenever I asked him, because he's just staring at me, and I asked him, do you guys do wheel alignments? I'm looking to get my wheel alignment done. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon, and he is like, nope, can't do it. Literally, the word for word, that was his response. Nope, can't do it. So, I was like, why not? Well, what's going on? It says you guys are open right now. And his response was, oh, we have too many people right now. We're booked up. Maybe come in another time. And that's just poor customer service, and that always comes down to one thing, and that's your mental strengthness. If your mental is not where it needs to be, it's going to portray that on every single thing that you do. So whenever we're going into these meetings, when we're dealing with customers, we have to be the ones that are overly excited to be there. If you really want to grow $1 million business, you're not going to be able to grow it this way. Like, this company obviously isn't doing well. I wasn't selling him anything. I was going to buy something from him, and his attitude was so bad. And, he wasn't able to get my business. I went somewhere else right down the road, and it's probably going to be more expensive, but, they greeted me. They said, hey, how can I help you? And whenever I got in there, they were just handling the whole situation. And they made everything very easy. They were super nice, and, I got it done. So that other company, they lost our business, and that happens to so many people. That's why so many people are struggling. People are losing jobs. People are, not able to grow their business. And we try to talk about all the details when it comes to pricing, when it comes to the things that, you can look for, and all the tips that we can possibly give. We talk about that all the time, but it all comes down to you and how you are portraying yourself when you're out there in these meetings. Because if you're out there not doing a good job, you're not really trying to come off as somebody that's going to be positive no matter what, and you're happy because this is just your job. And, for the most part, people are trying to, grow their business when it comes to all types of different avenues, but they're not focused on their mental strength. And, somebody is saying that there's a passcode to get into our Zoom call. I don't think there's a passcode, but I can add everybody in. Now that I've joined in, people are, yeah, I'm just gonna send this over. But yeah, so I left this customer because it was just a horrible experience, and I went to someone else and I paid more money. At the end of the day, that happens every single day. That's why people are struggling. I talk about people going to walkthroughs, and they'll go to the walkthrough and they're like, oh, the person there wasn't even excited to see me. Of course they're not excited to see you. They don't care about your business. They don't care about your product. The only time that I've ever gone to a meeting and someone's super happy, and if that person that I come in contact with, those are people that are harder to sell. Those people that are super happy, super motivated, they probably already have lots of connections. They have people that they've worked with. They probably already have a good company. So those are much harder sells. Add Cristobal in. What's up, Chris? My bad, man. I tried to make it to where we can actually just have everybody hop in, but we changed it, and I guess it required a code.
Yeah, no problem, man. I was like, I was trying to find the code and couldn't find it anywhere. But man, yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, I'm just talking right now. We record these too. So if you're ever not able to make it, we'll just record them and post it in school. But Yeah, man, we're talking about right now like the mentality thing when it comes to doing walkthroughs because I think when it comes to like creating relationships, you have to have a positive, overly happy mentality because you walk into like I was telling everybody about the story that I just the other day I walked into this mechanic shop, walking in the guy's like. I'm looking at him and I'm waiting for him to say like, "Hey, how can I help you?" And he's like just staring at me, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm coming in to get a wheel alignment. Can you help me out?" His response was like, "No, can't do it." Like literally, that's what he said. Nope, can't do it. And I'm like, this is something that goes on every day. Like people are just horrible at like just interacting with people and just
Yeah,
letting go of their life and just going to this meeting and treating everybody the right way. So like
yeah,
we talk to people all the time that are struggling with walkthroughs. What's up, They Clean? So we talked to a lot of people that are doing with walkthroughs and they're struggling with just people like not they're literally saying these people aren't even excited to see me. Like
yeah,
of course they're not going to be excited to see you. I mean you have to pivot and flip the switch so that way people are gonna work with you because it's you, only because it's you. And that happens with any business. I went to down the road to another mechanic. I walk in, they're like, "Hey, how can I help you, sir?" I mean, it's
yeah.
literally that simple. And, we talk to people all the time. And some of our people specifically, they're going into walkthroughs, like our new guys that we bring on, and they're saying, "Hey, the guy was just super unhappy. He was super mad. He wasn't, he wasn't in a good mood. So it was hard." And I'm like, "What do you
Yeah.
mean? So what were you doing in the walkthrough? Did you kind of like did you back off after that?" And all the time, everybody's always saying, "Yeah, I kind of backed off after this." And at that point, that's where it's going to just keep stopping you from getting to the next level because the walkthroughs and just like you do residential, it's all about the customer relationship. I mean,
That's right.
anybody that has that customer relationship is going to kill it in this industry. Um, commercial services. I mean, it's just like doing houses, except for it's easier to manage the
Mhm.
multitude because they're just dealing with more cleans. It's like a
That's
more
right.
you can actually create a little job for somebody that wants to create part time or full time revenue.
That's right.
So, walkthroughs, the big thing that I'm seeing people struggle with is just keeping that positive mentality no matter what. Like, if you're walking into a walkthrough and someone says, "Hey, the guy that you were supposed to meet with isn't here right now, so now, like, I guess I'll be talking to you." That's still a good opportunity. I mean, no matter what, those walkthroughs, we've turned walkthroughs where people are saying, "Hey, we're not interested. This is just something we're trying to get a price."
Uh-huh.
And by creating a relationship and just being there to have a good positive attitude, we've been able to close deals and just turn a no into a good
That's
yes.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like a lot of things that we want to go over with these walkthroughs. When we go to these walkthroughs, a lot of times people want to just go walk straight through the building. They're not trying to like make it like an interview, but we want to make it like an interview. Like what we try to do when we go to these walkthroughs, we walk in. We're telling the front desk person, we're here to do a quick walkthrough with so and so, and they'll most of the time go get that person, and then from there, we're like, "Thank you for letting us come out. We're so glad to be here. Quickly, can we just go to your office real quick before we walk through the building, just so we can get a better idea of what you're looking for?"
Okay.
Yeah, and then this will just give you that time to create that relationship with these people because a lot of times if you're just walking through the building, they're gonna treat you like every other business owner that
Listen.
comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we like to make sure to go back to the office. We go straight to the office, and normally it's like maybe 5-10 minutes. So
For
when
sure.
we go to the office, the first thing we say is, we're so glad that we're here. Thank you so much. I just want to let you know straight up, like this is our blood, sweat, and tears. If there's ever anything you need, I'm going to be the person that you can call anytime, 24/7. And from there, we're basically telling them, "I'm here just to quickly tell you, like, I'm looking for whatever you're looking for. Like, if you're trying to get price or quality, just be straightforward with me. We're going to give you the service that you're looking for. And just let me know, like, what are you looking for out of a cleaning service?" And
Mhm.
we control the whole situation. That way we can kind of figure out early on what they're needing.
What they
Because,
need. Uh huh.
yeah, because if you start going, walking to the building, by the time you get done, they need to go, they're busy, and you've lost that time to create that relationship.
Yep.
So, once you go in there and tell them, like, this is my blood, sweat, and tears, like, this, I do this full time, they're going to treat you a little bit more different. And,
Yes.
from there, when you tell them, "Hey, look, I know you're looking for either quality or price. Let me know what you're looking for based on your needs, and we're going to make sure you
Ah.
get that." And
Okay.
when we say this straight up to these people, and we're not just like going in there just with the unknown, when we're controlling the situation, you're going to be able to close much more deals. So at that point, I mean, we've had it so many times where people are like, they're not really happy to see us, but we go in there and we tell them this. We're sitting face to face. There's no way they can just be rude to us now. We're in their office. So, like they're more, they're more receptive to what we're saying. And, when you're doing this, you'll get better. You'll start, being able to critique what you're doing and say what you want to say. But this just creates that opportunity to create a relationship with them. And then most of the time, these people are going straight into, hey, look, we're not happy because this person isn't showing up. We're not happy because they're not cleaning the toilets right, or whatever it may be. They're going to go in detail. And that's the time. That's the time to start creating notes down and just making sure you're showing them you're super interested in that. And from there you can start creating third-party stories, and you can start creating, like, showing them, hey, look, we deal with this too. Like, people are, that we've come in contact with, they're dealing with their alarms not being set properly. People getting called in the middle of the night to come, make sure that there's nobody breaking in. So these are the things that we've already seen our previous customers dealing with. So it just goes to show them that we're already been in the business. Like, we have all these third-party stories, and we can kind of, like, if most of the time you don't have to hit every single one, but if they start saying, hey, like, this person, isn't hitting these spots right, maybe they're not dusting the screens. Yeah, the third-party stories is going to be a game changer, because, I mean, that just helps you relate with people and start building that relationship, to show them, like, look, you're already looking for these things as well in your business. And then from there, you can tell them, like, they're going to tell you exactly. So you'll walk through the building after that, after you've done the spill, created that relationship. Y'all are already probably laughing and talking now, and then from there, you're walking through the building. And after that walkthrough, that quick walkthrough, the thing that we like to do is book that second meeting right then and there. And we tell them, hey, look, thank you for letting me come out again. I just want to make sure I'm not ghosted, because this happens to us all the time. This happens to people all the time. We want to make sure we can come back in here and actually, answer some questions and see what we can do to actually give you what you want. Because if you're looking for quality, maybe, the price is too high, but maybe we can start, doing other things. Maybe cut off a day of cleaning, or maybe we can stop, only doing mopping once a week. Yeah, we'll take some stuff off, because a lot of times they're just like, they're quick to say, oh no, they're not going to do it. Like, let's just not worry about it. But when you're able to come back in and actually have them, like, be ready to sign a contract that day, you can start customizing those deals right at the spot. Like, as soon as you send them you come back in with the price, you have it in mind. Look, they're looking for a little bit, maybe they're looking for quality. If they're looking for price, you can kind of go in knowing all these things already. And the biggest objection people are going to get is, your price is too expensive. And in commercial, I mean, everybody's looking. There's a lot of people that are looking for budget. They're trying to stick to that budget, but there are some people that want to pay good to their cleaners. So yeah, for quality, exactly. So once you figure that out and you're able to beat those things, so say they're like, hey man, your price is just way too expensive. I know I want quality, and I know I need to pay for it, but your price is still a little bit more. At that point, at that second meeting, that's the perfect time to just dial down the numbers. And I'm like, all right, well, look, I mean, what are you, like, looking to pay? Because I don't know what you're paying right now, and if you're willing to share that, then we can just get this finalized. Yeah. So just let me know what your budget is, and then that's whenever, because they never want to talk about budget the first time you meet them. That's like going to talk to someone that's going to invest with you. No one wants to invest the first time they meet you. They want to learn about who you are. They want to get to know you a little bit more. So whenever we're doing these and setting up these two meetings, it just gives you much better chances to close the deal. And whenever we go back in there and they're like, all right, look, I want quality. The price is too high. We can start asking those questions now. Like, all right, well, what are you paying? So we can start coming to an agreement, because we can give you the quality you want at the price you want, but we just need to come to an agreement and figure out what that is. And that's the perfect time to just close the deal. And, a lot of people respect that upfront, talk whenever you're dealing with business, because a lot of people want to beat around the bush and they just want to kind of be scared about what they're saying and offering. And then the business owner sees that, they read that, and they're like, nah, I'm not going to pay this guy. I mean, no, I'm not going to give him the money to do this because, you know, he's unsure. If you're unsure, they're going to see that right away. So when we're super upfront and telling them like, look, like we're going to do whatever we can to get your business, like they're going to see that. And, you know, that's when those get easy to close. Um, let me see what I was going to talk about as well, because we had a lot of people that couldn't show up today, but they wanted us to talk about what to delegate first. You guys are already doing the right thing. I'm sure you got a crew already, Chris, and everything. So, Edwin, let me know if you have any questions, bro, about delegating. And just hop in here. There's only three of us in here right now, so you can come in here if you want. But the first thing I delegated was cold calls because you know I was doing 100 calls a day in my first year. And it was a tough time because I was calling during the day, I was cleaning at night, you know, and I was monitoring crews and all of these things. The first thing that I wanted to do was delegate my sales output so I can keep growing the business, but still be able to, you know, manage the things that I need to manage. Like at the time, I needed to still do payroll, I needed to still do invoicing and all that stuff because the business wasn't big enough. You know, I didn't have enough money to come in, you know, so to come in and just bring in somebody else to do all that at the time. And at the time, 10 years ago, I mean, I don't even know if QuickBooks was like a big thing at the time, but like we were doing everything with checks. So, you know, at the time for the most part, you know, we're going to delegate those things up front as far as like the cold calls, just because we want to grow the revenue and make sure that we have enough money to start hiring those things out. But yeah, man, do you have any kind of things on the commercial side of things you dive into, Christopher? Because a lot of people on here are doing residential, and you do residential, and you've been doing it for a while. So like, your questions will probably be very good questions for those that aren't doing commercial yet, because I mean you've been doing residential for a while now, right?
That's right. 11 years now, and you pretty much touched on the points that I was gonna bring today.
Yeah.
So you guys got me 2 appointments for next week on Monday and Thursday, some apartment complexes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what do you have? And you just spill the beans before
Yeah.
I even ask the question. So
Yeah, that's a good. I'll send you a rundown too on what to ask, because these apartments, man. I mean, these apartments are. I'm sure you know they're hit and miss. But like the ones that we want to hit next are like these bigger contracts that you can get into. Like I love working with banks that have multiple locations. You know, title companies, daycares, private schools. I mean, we're gonna hit all those people, but like apartments are treated a little bit differently because they're always looking for budget. So what we like to do is just to get on every single apartment complex's vendor list. Like so, like we're always calling apartments just so we can connect with them, and maybe they need it now, maybe they don't. But at the end of the day, it's always the same thing. You want to make sure that they see that, hey man, this guy's super positive, super happy. You know, whoever's going in there that does your walkthroughs, you know, make sure that they're super motivated.
No, for sure. Well, this time I'm gonna go myself. Like I really wanna just start, getting into it and
Yeah.
learning myself. And I don't have a question. Also, now that you mentioned a bank, we got also a yesterday. It's a Bank of America, and it's a financial center. This is like a 3,000 square feet building.
Yeah.
We just got the email, right? So I know I need, in order to come up with the amount of hours, labor hours it's gonna take, there's a production rate. So do you have an average production rate for a bank?
What size square foot is it?
It is 3,500 square feet.
Okay. Yeah, so like I mean, I always say like anything below 5,000 square feet, I think one person can easily clean that in 3 hours. You know, it's just something that I've seen over the past 10 years. Like a lot of people want to do square footage prices, but we like to stick towards just doing time because we're trying to give out full-time jobs. And like we have people that want to, work more, and like they actually want to work 8 hours a day. So, and what we're trying to do is figure out how much time it'll take them. So like whenever I go into those and I see like a 5,000 square foot facility, like we know we have one cleaner that can clean that in, maybe 1 to 3 hours, maybe the first time, three hours, a little bit longer, but after they get a routine and after they get a whole thing down, they're going to pretty much be able to start knocking these out pretty quickly. So like most of those banks, those are really good ones because like we've had banks that have 10, 20 locations, and we're able to get with those too, just because we're showing them we're doing a good job, and they'll start giving you more work. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one. So
There you go.
that's a good one. So like basically, so whenever they do, that 3,000, how many days a week are they looking for?
So there you go Monday to Friday.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. So on those, we always charge a minimum of 120, just because we
Per day,
know.
per week.
Yeah, just because we know, like, if we're charging 60 an hour, we're gonna have room to fit in, pay for our employees, because
And
we
we can
try
make a
to.
better profit.
Yeah, exactly. Like if we're charging 125 per clean, that's going to be a good amount for those. For that 5 day a week one, that's what is that about 3,000 125 times 20, yeah, $2,500 a month. And we have people that we can go in there and they'll do it for about 100 times. Let's see, $100 times divided by 20. Well, I did 1,500 divided by 20, so we would pay out probably about $75 per clean on that one, and then we would try to get them multiple locations in the same area, and they go from going, making 1,500 a month to 5,000 a month for doing three
Yeah, you
locations.
just go on another location and they'll just fill out a route.
Yeah, so we try to get them in like a little good area. Like we do the subcontracting because we can find like, we have right now we have over 100 subs that we can call anytime. So when we get a new facility and they're like, hey, we have 5 other locations, we'll figure out what people are in that area, and we'll pretty much give them 3 or 4 locations in that area. And most of the subs, like we hire 1 sub per location, and they'll always have helpers. They have people that want to help them out. So for the most part, we'll pretty much be able to fill those jobs pretty quickly because we subcontract everything. And that's just how we've always done it because it's easier to keep scaling that way. I tried doing the employee thing the first 3 years, and it was just super super hard dealing with 50 employees and workman's comp and people like not showing up and having to train them. So now, I mean, our whole thing is getting to, once we got to 50 commercial clients, we were able to hire all the things out that were annoying to us, and we were able to focus on getting more business. And just my main job now is recruiting more cleaners and more people. Like I love like helping bringing on more residential cleaners. Like we have residential cleaners that are making 10, 15,000 a month with us. Their team, with doing commercial, yeah, and they're doing it every single month. They're not having to jump back from house to house. So like we've been actually doing that for a while now, and yeah, for the most part, I went live on the wrong one. For the most part, we've stuck to doing that because I don't like dealing with having to train these people that aren't serious about the industry. And whenever we grow up with like these residential cleaners that are already doing the business, and they're much more serious when it comes to growing their business. So it's something that we've always done. Yeah, man. Let me know if you have any other questions. What's up, Allie?
Thank you, man.
Allie just hopped in here. We're gonna record this because I just wanted to. Those are good points that you mentioned about the walkthroughs, because walkthroughs is the biggest thing. You want to have the whole process down so that way you can know what's going on, and then from there you're gonna be able to control everything that's happening, and you're gonna have much better chances to close the deal. I'm gonna go over something that Allie wanted to talk about. Me and Allie, she does cleaning as well, and we've been helping her and her husband out. So for the most part, she wanted to dive into hiring. So whenever we're hiring people, we try to deal with more numbers, because at the end of the day, just like cold calls, it's all a numbers game. And whenever you're dealing with people are people, and you have to find those that are reliable and wanting to actually grow their business. So when we're doing our recruiting, we have our team members, our salespeople, we have them calling lots of residential cleaners in our area, and what we're trying to do is organize them based on the type of business they want to work with. And most of the time, they know that we're getting the contracts because they're not even paying for the marketing. They're not paying for any of the stuff. They don't. Some of them don't even have a website. They don't even, like, when we confront them, it's either from us calling Google. Some people will go create a Google business, and they're just, Yeah, that, that way, and when you do that, not all of them have businesses that they're just
No.
posting that on there. So we call all of them, and sometimes we'll post in like other groups, and we'll get people that are cleaning residential houses. But we like to set up quick Zoom calls, and the whole thing is it's going to be a numbers game because there are people that are like, no, we're not interested in doing that. We want to work for you. Like we want all of the contract ourselves. And then you'll hop on a call, 5 calls later, and they're like, "Oh, thank you so much. I need $1,200 to pay my rent next month, please. Like I've been cleaning houses my whole life, and I really need this. Like, thank you so much." It's just a numbers game. Like whenever we realize that, we're like, all right, let's just dive into the numbers. Like let's hurry up and get our 100 employees, our 100 subcontractors. I say employees because every one of our subs are pretty much our employees. Like we treat them like all family, and everybody's in good, connections. We talk all the time. They have to check in, once they get to a location, they'll check in and check out, just like an employee would. I mean, it's just paperwork at the end of the day. So whenever we deal with the recruiting, there is going to be like a good, 10-to-1 ratio. For every 10, maybe one out of that is going to be a good hire. So me, Luke, my other team members, Michelle, Daniel, we all sit on Zoom calls almost every single day. I try to do like 1 or 2 times a week, but at first I was dealing with so many Zoom calls. Like I was talking to residential cleaners all the time and trying to meet people because I knew, if I'm getting all these clients, if I can just figure out who I'm going to put in place for this stuff, we're not going to have any issue growing the business. So ever since we started focusing on both of those things intensely, it grew. And I tell people all the time, like I'm not trying to say like we got it all figured out, but I just do know that like cold calls is going to grow any side of the business because it's just defying time. And whenever you're able to reach out to like 100, we call it 100 cleaners just in our areas to see if we can hire out this big movie theater we're about to win. And we need about 6 people. We need like a good amount of carpet cleaners. And we got it hired out in less than a week. So most of the people that we have in that area don't want to really have a full-time, Monday through Friday porter type job. They'd rather do after hours. But so we have to start now. We're finding day porters because some people don't want to do day work, but we're running into a lot of people that actually are looking for day porter services. So like if you reach out to churches and these bigger schools, you can actually start getting in the door and offering them just pretty much like a hiring firm. Like you can let them know. Like I did a partnership with a school. We're pretty much like giving them day porters when they need them. So like they have their own people, but sometimes they're calling in and they're like, yeah, we don't want to have to deal with hiring someone else just because like our lady that we've had for 30 years, can't show up. So like we told them, well, look, I understand that you have your own thing going on. You can call us though anytime if you need a day porter or if you need an emergency clean, your carpet, and we create that relationship so that way, they know. And now that's been a really good thing because some of these things are turning into more full-time gigs to where they actually like our cleaning, they like the customer service, so they're turning into more long-term contracts. So that's a good thing, So yeah, Ali, if you have any questions about that, you can just shoot it in the comments. If I didn't hit it, what you're trying to ask me, let me know. Just put it in the comments and we can talk about the hiring process. But like I said, it's just a numbers game. I've had to deal with hundreds and hundreds of Zoom calls to find my good people. But we have an amazing team. I can find somebody pretty quickly to do a cleaning. So it's like it's not like at this point where we're trying to find more people to scale. We're just trying to connect with people because we know like once it's time to hire that out, it's going to be there ready to go. So yeah, guys, let me know if you have any questions though, with anything y'all are dealing with. Yeah, finding the right people is definitely tough. Like I like to make sure that they know that we are trying to grow, and I want them to know like our whole goal is to scale. So we're not trying to do this part time. Or if you want to make 10,000 a month, let's figure out how we can make you 10,000 a month. We tell them on that Zoom call like, look, if they're not really interested in growing their business or trying to continue to clean multiple facilities, we probably won't want to keep them down for a much longer time. So we stick to just wanting to work with people that are trying to grow their business and scale. But yeah, the right people are definitely going to be hard to find, Ali. But yeah, once you start doing, a good amount of Zoom calls and meetings, you'll find that person that's actually really good. But yeah, let me know if you guys have anything else you're trying to touch on. The one thing that people are also asking us a lot about is email follow-ups. I mean, we use MailChimp and we also use our website. We use Go High Level. Those are 3 good sites that we use. What do you use, Chris?
I use High Level.
Okay.
It was, for me to call email, it was working good at the beginning, but now it seems like they land on the spam folder most of the time.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm looking at another software called, gosh, what's the name of it?
Yeah, that's a huge problem. I mean, we kind of like use emails just to stay relevant. I mean, we kind of know like that most of them are going to go to spam. So like when we do the calls, most of our follow-ups are on calls. So like when we're doing our cold calls, we'll make sure to put in there like when we need to follow up with people because that's the biggest thing. Because whenever we call back at the right time and we start setting up walkthroughs for years down the road, that just makes us look crazy when we call them. Hey, we talked to you guys 2 years ago, and you guys said that you were interested in getting more prices when your contract ends. And I think you're going under contract soon, so out of contract. So can we come back in? At that point, I mean, we've won so many contracts like that where people are like, yeah, I mean, thanks. I mean, it's cool that you guys are still in business, So yeah, come out and give us a price. So once you start doing thousands of calls, most of our follow-ups are just through calls, but we do utilize emails a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, let me know, Edwin or Ali, if y'all have any questions real quick before we hop on here. I'm going to shut my door real quick to my office. Yeah, man. Well, Chris, let me know if you guys, as far as like those walkthroughs, how those go, and then what we like to do. If you need help with anything as far as, we'll talk about it.
One more question, do you bring to this walkthroughs any other collaterals like flyers or I'm sure business cards, but I don't know if you bring something with you.
That's a very good question. I'm glad you asked that because I sometimes bring flyers if we have them. If I have any on me, if I go, my guys will take some. Back whenever I was doing it, the thing that I always made sure to do was get their phone number. And like I just get their phone number. Like I'm gonna get that whoever I'm talking to, I'm gonna make sure they put their number on my phone because like I know that's the way I'm gonna be able to get in contact with them. They won't be able to ghost me that way. And a lot of people get ghosted, and it's because they're calling the business line or maybe they're expecting them to respond to an email. But what I like to do is get that phone number and you can make up whatever kind of script you want to get that. But I always say. Yeah, I always just say, hey, look, I mean, I don't have my cards on me. Can I just get your phone number? And I pull my phone out, and it's just an instinct. They're gonna do it right then and there, and I save the phone number, and from there, it's just gonna be a closer relationship. But let's see, what's the best type of business to cold call as a new business owner? Edwin, yeah, you should be calling. I would say call churches, daycares, title companies, dentist offices. Those are all really easy to call and get in the door with because the person that's going to answer the call is that gatekeeper, and all you got to say is hey, this is Edwin, I'm with so and so, and I'm just calling to see if I can talk to the person who's in charge of the cleaning. And from there they're going to tell you who that person is, and the most thing that you're going to hear is no, I'm not interested, or we have it covered. But the goal is to do at least 100 calls a day. Once you do 100 calls a day, let's see, I'm adding John in here. Once you do the 100 calls a day, you're going to be able to see the results. I mean, I've heard it so many times where people are doing, 20, 30 calls a day and they don't get the results that they want. And, it doesn't go as well. Hey John, we talked about a lot of good stuff. I'll record, we got this recorded and I'm going to post about it as well. Because we talked about, what we're doing when it comes to these walkthroughs and how we're gathering their information, what we're taking to the door. Like Cristobal asked a good question, like what am I taking or what are we taking? The main thing we like to take with us is, a good personality and just super positive. Some people don't care about seeing us. No one cares. about what we're offering. So whenever you're able to get in the door with someone that's super negative and you're able to flip the switch and make them, super interested in wanting to work with you, that's gonna be the time to create long-term relationships. And I don't really, we take like a flyer, but the one thing we like to do is book that second meeting, and I always make sure, all of us make sure to grab their phone number. We'll pull our phone out and say, hey, what's your phone number? Like, we want their cell phone so we can get in contact with them because we don't want to get ghosted. There's so many times where, like, if you're not the person in charge, like, who's that? We want to know who's in charge so we can talk to that person that's going to make the choices. So, always leave with that phone number and that contact. I always tell them, like, hey, I don't have my business cards on me, but I just pull my phone out and get their phone number, especially if there's someone that's interested and they seem like, yeah, they do need cleaning. We don't want to be ghosted at the end of the day, and we don't want to have to just show up, unnoticed. Because at the end of the day, that's kind of weird. We will show up if they've told us like, yeah, we accept, the offer, and they just kind of take forever and ghost us. But when it comes to like saying we go to the proposal, we go to the walkthrough, and they're like, they obviously need cleaning. I mean, you have to follow up with them and get that phone number. So let's see. Edwin what's the best? How do you build a relationship when doing the walkthrough? Yeah, and when it just goes back to like showing up super positive, because really, I mean, we walk through all the time where people are like not interested to see you, and you just got to show up there. You're good regardless. Like you're there, you're happy with what you're doing. They're gonna want to work with you more often than the person that shows up and starts matching their negativity. Because if you match their negativity, it's just gonna ruin the whole flow of the transaction. Like the other day when I walked into that body shop, or that guy, I'm walking into the body shop and the guy is just super rude. He doesn't even ask me what I need help with. He's just looking at me, and I'm like, I'm here to get my wool alignment. And he's like, nope, can't do it. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do it? Like, it says you're open right now. And, he's like, oh, we're too busy. Come back another time. He's like, that's what most people are dealing with when they're dealing with going to walkthroughs. But I talked to him and I was like, look, what's going on? And he was pretty much not interested in it. And he's clocked out. People are clocked out. And if you're not mentally there, it's gonna happen to you too. So, whenever, people are like that, I mean, we just try to, when it comes to the walkthroughs, when people are like that, we try to show that we're not gonna be like that. We're super positive, we're pumped up to be there. And most of the time they pivot. And Edwin, I think the best time to create that relationship is just not going through the walkthrough. Like I said earlier, you have to go confront that person. Hey, I'm here to do the walkthrough. You tell them, can I go to your office real quick? You don't want to go straight through the walkthrough right away. Tell them, hey, I want to go to your office quick, just do a quick, talk with you. And then from there, you can tell them straight from the beginning. This is our blood, sweat, and tears. We take this very seriously. We're going to be here anytime you need us. I'm the person you can call anytime, any day of the night. We're going to be here to help you. So I'm here just to figure out what you're looking for. Quality, or are you looking for, a price? What are you guys looking for out of your cleaning service? And then that just gives you that opportunity to create that relationship. If you're going through just straight through the walkthrough, it's hard to create a relationship when you're just walking through their building first. By the end of it, they're like, hey, I gotta go, or thanks for coming. You don't really have that good time to sit in the office. Like I've had times where, we've literally been in the office for an hour talking, and like, oh yeah, we gotta do the walkthrough. And that's like a closed deal, because we start relating to each other. We built that relationship. It's done. I mean, sometimes we're in there for a good 10 minutes. Sometimes it could be longer. But at that point, they start treating you way more better whatever you're doing with like someone that actually cares about what they're doing. They're not going to just treat you like someone that is just showing up. They have their little shirt on and they're just like, can I see your building? I'm going to send you a quote. They're not going to respond to that person. Most of those people get ghosted every day. So, let's see, will you guys ever do live cold calls? Yeah, for sure. That's what the school is. We just created the school account about like, oh, you're on there too, Edwin. Yeah, we're going to start posting live cold calls in there. So yeah, it's going to be cool. But for the most part, John, if you have anything you want us to hit on, bro, or if there's anything you need, you want me to address when it comes to what we're doing for you, because you're doing full-time calls. Chris is also doing full-time calls with us. I believe Ali is. So, let us know if there's anything we can hit on now, and I can touch base on that right now.
No, I think, am I live?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think everything's going great. Your calls have been doing really well. One thing I would touch upon when you're talking about that walkthrough that I've learned in all my years of interacting with people in all different realms is don't sell. The biggest thing you can do in a meeting is don't sell.
Exactly.
You know, like you said, you can get in that appointment for an hour. Oh my God, you're locked and loaded at that point. You know,
Exactly.
it's all about, and if they're negative, so what if they're negative?
Yeah.
You know, walk in and get to know them a little bit. You know, talk about where they're from. Are they local? You know, how long they've been working with the company, things of that nature. Break them out of that, oh God, this guy's here to just sell me something.
Absolutely.
You know, and once you build that rapport, you don't have to worry about selling. It's all about gathering information, finding what their hard parts are, what they want to fix, and whatever they want to fix, you can fix it.
Absolutely.
Guarantee you can fix it.
Absolutely.
And take that off their plate because they're stressed out as it is. That's why they're all negative.
Exactly.
So if you can make them feel warm and fuzzy, don't sell your cleaning service until the very last thing. You'll be good. It's about partnership. It's not about selling your service.
Exactly, man. You hit it right on the dot. And sometimes people will be like, after the end of it, they'll be like, hey, I'm sorry I came off like that. You know, I'm just having a good day. You know, everybody has their own stuff going on. So you got to just get past that, especially if you want to be successful. So I think you killed it on that, man, for sure. So what are some questions I should ask to make them open up? I mean, man, that's really, it's going to be something that you'll have to learn as you go. But I mean, some questions that I like to ask, like I said earlier, is just like, what are you guys looking for out of a service? I mean, you've probably been in business for a long time. What can we do differently that helps you? You know, you just want to ask them questions like that we're going to make them tell you about what they're looking for out of a service. And really, it comes down to your attitude. I mean, attitude is 100% what's going to change their whole, demeanor, everything that they're saying to you. You know, if you match their negativity, they're not going to open up at all. They're going to just shut down. So you got to just completely ignore everything that's going on and just be you and be happy. But yeah, man, I think you guys are all going to do great. Everybody's been doing business for a while now. John's been in forever. Cristobal's been doing residential forever. So yeah, I mean, if there's anything y'all want us to hit on, earlier we talked about time management. You guys already know all that. Ali had a good question about finding good people. You know, that's always everybody's, tough spot. You know, the way we've found our good people is just doing the numbers on that as well. I mean, we're interviewing way more people than most, and we're actually giving people that opportunity to like actually let us know what their goals are. Sometimes people are asking them, when they're bringing them on to interviews just to see if they're able to take on a job. When we bring people on interviews, we're actually asking them, like, what are your goals for your business? We know, that you have a residential cleaning company or whatever it may be, commercial. But most of the people we're working with in our cleaning business is residential cleaners. We very rarely will hire people that are like, on Indeed or anything like that.